Hey guys, it's Abby from Autumn of Pelennor, and today I'm talking about what I read in January. I ended up managing to read 9 books in the past month, so 2 of them were 5 stars, 5 of them were 4 stars, 2 of them were 3 stars, and 1 was a DNF, which was the only book on my TBR. So you may remember that I said I was going to read Fall of Giants, and I mean I've started it. These are to like encourage me. But I've started it, but it just wasn't happening this month, so I'm going to leave it be. I'm not going to kick myself over it, I'm just going to get on with it. So, the first book that I did actually manage to read is Cruel Crown by Victoria Aveyard, and I gave this 4 stars. It was really nice to be back within the world and learn a bit of a background to kind of the Red Queen stuff. So then I read Night by Elie Wiesel. This was a 5-star read, hard-hitting, and I feel like every single time I read a memoir about the Holocaust I learn something new and horrific, which isn't great. But it's very important that we don't forget. So that was a very good book. Then, on the train from my home city to my university city, I read The Mime Order by Samantha Shannon. I gave this 4.5 stars. I really loved it. I loved being back within this world and being back with Paige. I'm really looking forward to reading the songwriting at some point in the next decade, who knows. But yeah, this was just a really great book. There were so many twists and turns, and the very ending, god damn it Samantha, so good. Then The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood. Finally read it. 5 stars, I loved it. I wish it hadn't taken me this long to get to, but I'm so glad that I finally read it, and that this year is the year that The Testaments, I think that's what it's called, comes out, the second book to The Handmaid's Tale. You guys will have heard many other people besides me talking about this book, but I'll just say that it was hard-hitting, it made me really think, and sadly relevant. So, very good book. Then I borrowed from Becca, my flatmate, for anyone who doesn't know, The Night is Darkening Around Me by Emily Bronte, and The Robber Bridegroom by the Brothers Grimm. These are both the tiny little penguin books, about 50 pages each, and I gave them both 3 stars. The Emily Bronte one was quite dark and quite sad, but very interesting, and the Brothers Grimm stories were really interesting. I've never actually read a fairy tale in its original format, and it also contains Snow White, but that wasn't my favourite story, but I really enjoyed that one, but both of them got 3 stars. Then I read Artemis Fowl at the Atlantis Complex by Owen Colfer. This is from the Artemis Fowl series, which is going to be a movie coming out very soon, and as a child, young adult, I don't know, I'd only read books 1 to 6, and so I definitely want to finish up the series before the movie comes out if I can find number 8, that is, but if not, I just kind of wanted to get back into this world again. I gave this 3.5 stars. It's not the best one there is. From what I've read so far, like, of the series, it's the weakest, but it was still very enjoyable and very fun. Then another book that I borrowed from Becca is Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. Again, another classic, like, piece of dystopian literature. I gave this one 4 stars. I found that the prose was a bit... it felt like it was a bit full of itself. I know it wasn't. I know that wasn't the intention, at least I think it wasn't the intention, but it felt very much like, oh, I know that I'm good at literature and I'm going to write it like this. Not all the time, but at times. But the actual concept of the story and the writing style when it wasn't being so uppity, really good, so I enjoyed it. And then my final read, which is not meant to be in this month, but it is The Princess Diarist by Carrie Fisher. This is in my February TBR. but on the 31st of this month my building had a power cut and I had nothing else to do, and I'd already finished all my books, so I was like, may as well start it. So yeah, I read all of this. I gave it, what did I give it? I gave it 4 stars. This focuses on Carrie's first kind of exposure to the limelight from A New Hope, the first Star Wars movie, and kind of how young Carrie dealt with it, and it looks back a lot on her at that time at about 19 and just sees kind of how she was struggling, how she was kind of slowly entering this world. It does mention points that are closer to this point in time. Sadly she's obviously passed away, so it mentions stuff relatively recent, but the bulk of it is about that time when they were first filming. This does mention the affair with Harrison Ford. It basically just gives you her diaries. I think they're edited, but you can like read what she thought at the time, essentially, and I found that really, really interesting. Not as much is cut out as I would have expected, but then it is Carrie Fisher, who's known for being very blunt and open. So yeah, I ended up really enjoying this and I'm really glad I read it. I recommend for anyone who likes Star Wars or who likes Carrie Fisher. And that's it. I only actually have 4 books to hold up because 3 of them are in Becca's room and she is asleep because I'm filming this at like 7 in the morning, and the others are in my home with my parents. So I read more than 4. But yeah, this was a really good reading month for me. The DNF wasn't really... I did DNF it for a little while. I did just... DNF means did not finish, or do not finish. And I did put it down completely. But it's February now, and from the 1st of February I picked it up. And I've been kind of slowly getting back into it, and I am still enjoying it. So, no real negatives of this month, which is always good. My voice is going. Oh, I don't know why. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, all of my links to other social medias are down below. Please do click the red subscribe button if you want to see some more from me in the future, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!